For 7 days a week, throughout the entire year, there were only a few rare moments when this station broadcast sounds other than the usual ones. These unusual sounds led people to call it the Ghost Station or the Apocalypse Radio. Welcome. Today let me tell you about the Russian Ghost Station. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you'll be alerted about new stories every week. Now, let's begin. In 1982, while people were randomly tuning into radio stations, they noticed a station emitting strange noise, a consistent and steady hum, not the static noise of an untuned frequency. This hum had a fixed rhythm, a calm buzzing followed by a horn-like whistle. At this stage, it was unusual but not overly alarming. Over the years, many people began following this station in hopes of hearing something new. Though it constantly broadcast the same monotonous hum, their curiosity kept them intrigued, waiting for the day it might change. One day in 1997, something unexpected happened. Listeners heard a man speaking in Russian on the station, uttering a series of words and numbers. Although listeners recorded what was said, they couldn't make any sense of it. The words seemed random and unconnected. However, one phrase repeated multiple times, UVB-76. The man on the radio identified himself with this code, and since then, the station has been called UVB-76. After this incident, many reported hearing strange sounds on the station at different times. Some heard noises resembling objects colliding. Others heard unclear sounds or music, while others heard a woman speaking in Russian, saying unrelated, seemingly coded words. Things remained this way until November 3rd, 2001, when a new bizarre event occurred. A dialogue between two people was broadcast on the station. The voices were very faint and unclear, and they were discussing a generator or a specific device. One said, "I am number 143 and can't receive the generator." The other responded, "These items come from the equipment room." It was an odd, contextless event, but it marked the first time two people were heard conversing on the station. Years passed, and on June 5, 2010, something even stranger happened. The station went silent. After more than 40 years of uninterrupted broadcasting, after 24 hours it resumed, emitting the same sound as if nothing had happened. No one knows why the station stopped or how it returned. Around this time, an engineer specializing in signals and waves was fascinated by the station and decided to create an online stream for it, making it accessible to people worldwide. This stream brought the Ghost Station more fame, drawing millions of followers from all over the world. The stream continues to this day. On August 25, 2010, the station went silent again, this time for longer. The silence lasted until early September, resuming on September 7, with a man's voice speaking Russian once again. This time the event was even more unsettling, as the man repeated phrases that sounded like a secret code. A month later, on November 10, a new incident occurred. A phone conversation was broadcast where someone was giving instructions to a secretary in an office. This conversation lasted longer than any prior broadcast. Over the years, listeners have continued to hear strange sounds on the station, such as knocking, footsteps, and music. On one occasion, the music was identified as a 19th century piece called Dance of the Little Swans. Yet, no one understood why these sounds were being broadcast on this station specifically. In 2015, 2000, 19, 2020, 2022, and even now, strange sounds have occasionally surfaced on the station. But what is the true story behind this mysterious station? What is its purpose? And who is behind it? Over the years, both hobbyists and technical experts have tried to uncover the secrets of this station. Their first step was to analyze the hum, hoping it might contain hidden encrypted messages. After many attempts, the answer was no. The hum contained no encrypted information. It was just ordinary static, possibly emitted by a machine or device and broadcast over the radio. Based on this, investigators moved on to the other sounds heard on the station. They discovered that all the sounds, including the hum, were live broadcasts rather than pre-recorded. This led investigators to theorize that the station operates from a room equipped with a microphone and a device emitting the hum. The microphone picks up sounds in the room and transmits them live. But why? And who is responsible? No one knows. This theory gained credibility because it explained some of the strange sounds, like the 33rd recording of two people talking about equipment. It seemed they hadn't intended their conversation to be broadcast, but the microphone accidentally captured it. Similarly, it explained other noises, like banging or footsteps. This theory suggested that the mysterious room might be inside a building somewhere, likely a facility with employees, which would explain occasional footsteps or conversations. Since everything broadcast so far has been in Russian, and the identified music was by a Russian composer, the station is likely based in Russia. Over the years, people have attempted to locate the source of the broadcast. They traced it to an area called Povarovo near Moscow. But in June 2010, when the station went silent for 24 hours, its broadcast source reportedly moved. Afterward, it was traced to two locations, St. Petersburg and Moscow. Curious individuals visited Povarovo, searching for the original source. There, they found an abandoned military base with broadcasting rooms and a tall transmission tower. Strangely, the place was completely deserted, with scattered equipment, papers, and signs of an emergency evacuation. If this was the original broadcast site, why was it abandoned after all these years? Some speculated that the broadcasters evacuated upon realizing their location was discovered. Others believed a severe storm in 2010 forced the evacuation, supported by reports of a strong storm in the area that year. Even if we accept this, many unanswered questions remain. Who owns this station? Some believe it's a secret Russian government project, but no official entity has ever acknowledged it. If the government is indeed behind it, what's the purpose of these broadcasts? Several theories attempt to explain it. One suggests it's a scientific research tool used to study the ionosphere, the most important atmospheric layer for radio waves, aiding radar system development. Another theory proposes it's merely a signal testing system to evaluate radio and tower efficiency. A third, more outlandish theory links it to nuclear weapons. During the Cold War, Russia developed a system called Dead Hand to ensure retaliation in the event of a nuclear attack. If the country's communication networks were destroyed, the system would automatically launch nuclear missiles worldwide. Some believe the ghost station serves as a signal to indicate that everything in Russia is stable. If the station stops, it could signal the system to activate. However, this theory is weak, as the station has stopped broadcasting twice without triggering global catastrophe. The most plausible theory is that the station is a covert communication channel for Russian spies worldwide. The low-frequency waves can travel vast distances, allowing instructions to be sent globally. The random numbers and words heard on the station are likely encrypted messages, only decipherable by those with the correct key. This method of communication isn't new. During World War II, numbers stations broadcast coded messages worldwide. Governments used this method to deliver instructions to agents, and some such stations still operate today, like the Buzzer and the Lincolnshire Poacher. While this theory is compelling, questions remain. Why use such outdated technology in an era of advanced communications? The answer may lie in its simplicity, making it harder to hack. Ultimately, the Russian ghost station remains an unsolved mystery. If you're curious, tune into 4625mm or listen online, or you might hear something new that no one else has before.